Hey everybody, it's Annette. Hope you are doing well today. It is Monday, January the 26th. We did have sun out today. It did stay cold today, but a lot of snow did melt. Snow, what am I talking about? Ice. A lot of the ice melted, and we did have snow scrapers go by on our road. I don't know about some of the secondary roads. I'm waiting to hear from the animal rescue. I'm supposed to take a foster kitten tomorrow to have the final vetting and health certificate before he transports to his new human. And they did not know how backed up the vet would be or if tomorrow would be possible. I'm perfectly fine with waiting a couple days and letting more of this melt. But I wanted to discuss tonight. Number one, I'm thankful that it wasn't worse than it was, at least in our area. In Forsyth County, I read there are 800 people, and I imagine that's households without electricity, praying for the safety and warmth of those people, and that they have friends, family, or places they can go to get warm. And I'm just really, really thankful. And of course, we don't let our guard down. We stay aware. We still keep our supplies. We still continue to be prepared. One of the things I did want to talk about is how herbs can be a great asset to have whenever you need something medical, not emergency. And again, I am Annette. I am just a woman. I'm not offering medical advice. Please seek professional advice from your doctor before doing any of these things. I'm just suggesting things that work for me, alternative medicines that can help with healing. For example, I felt like I was getting a urinary tract infection last night. I was getting the pain that you normally get with it. Did not have any cranberry juice. I don't usually keep that in stock because it's very seldom I develop anything urinary tract infection or anything like that. I don't know about men. Sorry, guys. If you get them, this should help you as well. But I could feel it coming on, and you ladies know what I'm talking about. It starts hurting, and you feel like you have to pee every 5 minutes. So I didn't have cranberry juice, but I knew I had herbs. And right off the top of my brain, I knew that I had, it's called Uva Ursi. I've repurposed a medicine bottle for this, labeled it, and then put what it's for. It says it is for kidney. So this is also good for if you're starting to develop a urinary tract infection. If you're already too far gone, you'll probably need to get the antibiotics and stronger medications. But mine was just starting. I could feel it coming on. So I got some of this Uva Ursi and I blended it with raspberry leaf. This does not taste too good by itself. I made 1 cup of it last night in a tea bag, a muslin tea bag drawstring. So what I did today, because I'll probably treat this for about a week, just to make sure everything gets cleared out properly. On some of the herbs, they're a little bit more bitter or woodsy, or maybe need a little kick in flavor. What I like to use, and I did it in tonight's blend, the Uva Ursi, the raspberry leaf, I added just a pinch of peppermint. Peppermint will enhance the flavor of anything that doesn't taste especially great. A lot of the herbal teas out there that do taste really good, and then others are very good for you, but they might not taste that well. They taste like plants, and they're supposed to. They are plants, but some taste better than others. So, just if you need to drink something that is good for you, or you're treating an ailment but you need a little flavor to it or want to enhance it a little, peppermint. I will tell you that If you add sugar to your tea, you've completely negated any of the medicinal benefits. Sugar does not stop the bacteria, it adds the bacteria. You want to use stevia, monk fruit, or something like that, a more natural sweetener. You can even use honey. Honey, while it is sugary or very sweet substance, it's natural. And it is also used, you can use it on wounds, you can use it for so many things. It's a healing thing. So if you don't like stevia, you don't like milk fruit, you can always use honey to sweeten it up as well. But don't ever use just plain white cane sugar if you're trying to use herbs to help with an ailment. Also went downstairs, and I'm going to do, next time I do a supply run for the first aid things and then the medicinal things I told you about at that flea house or flea store or whatever, that's got the vendors and it's got this big, all this floor space with these products. I went down to my first aid slash medicinal kit downstairs. I have this urinary on tract gummies. I took 2 of those last night. You can take 2 a day. So I started on that last night along with the tea. And then this one, cranberry gummies. I didn't have the cranberry liquid, but I had the gummies. So said you could take up to 5 last night since it was late in the day and I was already taking the cranberry supplement with it. I just took 3 of these. And then I did the same thing today. I took those throughout the day. And if you want to make a cup, you can do a cup and use the muslin tea bag. You can use the little strainers. What I like to do is make a pot of coffee. Yeah, I like doing that too. A pot of tea, because I like having it and just refilling my glass. I like to drink it iced. If it's really, really cold, and it has been, but it's been warm in the house, sometimes I do like to drink it warm. I don't like it hot, hot. So for those who don't like a hot or warm drink, this is just an example. A little teapot. This is not the one that I use, but it's just one that I have. Use a teapot and then get a strainer like this and then put on top of your teapot, and then you put your herbs in. The herb ratios are going to be 1 teaspoon per cup. So for example, the one that I use for my tea would hold 2 cups of tea. So 2 teaspoons. I'm sorry, this one would hold 2. The one I use would use 3. So about 2 to 3 teaspoons, depending. If you let it sit, you can get by with 2, but average is 1 teaspoon per cup of tea. And I do have bigger cups that I use for my tea. I do not use those little teeny tiny little cups on the teeny tiny little saucer. I use pottery mugs for my tea, so I do use bigger mugs. So 1 teaspoon per cup is usually a very good blend. I usually let it steep till it gets lukewarm or until I'm ready to drink it. The book that I use as a resource, I know I've talked about this before, but it's good to talk about again. 20,000 Secrets of Tea, Victoria Zack. I have gotten, obviously I've had this. This is my book that I keep in the cabinet with my herbs, which is a medicinal cabinet. I've gotten some for my kids, one each for my kids and for some of my friends who were interested in exploring herbal alternatives to medicine and healing. What I really love about this book is it has a lot of the teas in here. It tells what, if there any risk to it. For example, there are some herbs you can't use if you have thyroid problems. There are other herbs that you can't use if you have high blood pressure and so on. So it will have the cautions in here for those types of herbs if there are cautions to them. The second thing, and the most very important thing that I love about this book, is you can look up any symptom. And of course, last night I was looking up urinary tract infection, and it gave me a list of herbs. I'll just read those out to you in case there's some that you like that perhaps I don't care, as much for, or I don't have in stock. Bilberry, I do have some of that in stock. Cleavers, cranberry, definitely. I need to stock up on some cranberry leaves, but what I have now will work well. Dandelion, as we know, dandelion helps flush your body. Horsetail, raspberry, which is what I have. Rose hips, saw, palmetto, thyme, and Uva Ursi. So I just did the blend that I wanted to do, and I feel way better today, but I'm just going to continue to drink it this week. Usually when you have something that you're trying to fight or heal with herbs, usually a week or two is recommended. For this, I'll probably just do a week, because by then I'll be able to go to the grocery store and have some cranberry juice if I want to drink that as well. But I definitely plan to do this routine for 1 week. So the thing about herbs and the teas is that in instances like this, where cranberry juice would have been very helpful, but it does have sugars in it, I was able to go to my cabinet and to my inventory and get things to help me here without leaving the house, because the roads last night were obviously not drivable. Nothing was drivable yesterday. Some areas are drivable today, but as we go into the darkness and going to drop down to around 11 degrees tonight, anything that did not melt, anything that was maybe scraped and still has a thin layer of something under it, it's going to be another sheet of ice in the morning. So if you do have to get out, be careful traveling. I highly, again, recommend this book if you are looking into getting into herbal lifestyle and healing medicinally and more organically. 20,000 Secrets of Tea by Victoria Z.A.K. I don't think I've spent more than $5 on any of the books that I've bought for this one for myself, or any of the gifts. I just went to eBay, and I think they were $4.97 free shipping, and that's how I got it. This book has been a valuable asset. I've been using this for at least 4 years, maybe 5. And it's definitely a great reference book. That's why I just keep it in the medicine cabinet. And I've used it for developing eye irritation. I didn't know if it was turning into pink eye or if I was having an allergic reaction. Just a multitude of things. But I thought this would be a good topic tonight with the weather and then being stuck at home and not being in a crisis. Obviously, if you're in a crisis, you've got to call 911, because anytime you're dealing with kidney infections, if you're in intense pain or have blood in your urine or anything like that, you cannot let that problem go on. You have to seek medical attention. And if you cannot leave your home, you call 911 and get somebody to get you to the hospital, because I have been there once, only once, where it wasn't in this kind of weather, but I had a start of a urinary tract infection and took the cranberry juice and took everything for a week, and it went away. Well, 2 or 3 weeks later, I started having what felt like labor pains in my back. And what had happened was I did have to go to the hospital, be driven to the hospital by my husband. It had gone from the kidneys to the bladder, the kidneys, or reverse or whatever. It had gone from being a urinary tract infection to being a full-blown kidney or bladder infection, and it was incredible pain and sent my blood pressure out the roof. So mild symptoms like this did not warrant a doctor visit or hospital visit or anything like that. It just warranted some TLC at home, and that's what I did. So use your discretion. Always check with your primary care provider if you have questions about any herbs. And I hope if you do go down this path that you find it uh, fulfilling, rewarding, and empowering, because when you can take something that comes from the earth and use it to help yourself get better from something, or to keep yourself healthy, or to boost your immune system, it makes a very, very big difference in quality of life. So that's all for tonight. Take care. Love y'all.